Alright, so you guys might have seen in my last couple videos that I've been trying some new things when it comes to my setup and my tone options. I'm trying to kind of get away from the popular digital stuff nowadays, get away from the plugins. You guys probably know that I started off with a lot of the content videos just using GarageBand presets. Even my Tender Surrender cover, I'm pretty sure that was a GarageBand preset. And then eventually I made the switch over to the Soldano plugin from Neural DSP, which I think is probably one of the best plugins that I've tried. I have nothing to do with Neural DSP, but I really like that plugin and used it for a ton of my videos. But recently I've just been craving the real, authentic, true tone from a nice tube amplifier, but also needing the flexibility of recording at home, practicing at lower volumes while maintaining that amazing tone. So I'm going to be showing you what my current setup is. You've probably seen this in the last couple of videos. I have the Super Kraken amp, the VX100 from Victory. They were kind enough to send this over for me to check out and see what I think of it. This amp is insane. It's amazing. It's 100 watts of just crazy power, but actually in a pretty small format. You can see the size of the head it's not actually that big, so it's still pretty compact to carry around and stuff like that. It has a clean channel, a crunch channel, and a high gain, which you would have seen in the Cemetery Gates cover that I did recently and the Lucretia by Megadeth. That was the high gain channel on the amp straight into a Shure SM57 microphone that I have here miking my Mesa 2x12 cab. Now I'm lucky that during the day it's not too much trouble if I'm recording at pretty high volumes. Luckily the neighbors are just far enough, and we live on a pretty busy street here, that I can get away with cranking the amp and recording it. But late at night and stuff, if the family's sleeping, I'm not cranking a 100 watt amp. But luckily I have also the 2-note Torpedo Captor X here. I don't want to get the cords all tangled up. Now, this thing is amazing and in my opinion pretty much essential if you're wanting to use tube amps at home for either practicing or recording without deafening yourself, or needing to invest into a soundproof ISO booth to record your guitar. Now, the guys at 2-Notes were kind enough to send me the Captor X to also try out and see what I think. I'm not being paid to make the video and all my opinions are my own, but it's definitely a device I wanted to check out and see how it works with the tube amplifiers, giving you that, in my opinion, perfect hybrid rig. So the Captor X actually turned out to be even cooler than I thought it would be. I thought it was just kind of a simple load box where you plug in the tube amplifier, which obviously, just in case you don't know, you can't plug your tube amp directly into an audio interface. It's just going to blow up your system and everything. So you need a load box in the middle to handle that kind of power. But one thing I didn't actually realize ahead of time that's really cool in my opinion is the 2-Notes remote app that they offer, which if you can see here, you can actually control everything from your phone as you're recording, as you're playing. So I can change which cab I'm using. I can change the microphones, whether I want one mic on the cab or two, the distance, the access. You can change everything. It's pretty amazing everything that they have in here. So right now I'm using the Victory Kraken cab, which 2-Notes partnered up with Victory to get a true tone from those cabs. So I'm using the 2x12 Kraken cab. And I have it on the crunch channel of the amp right now with the gain about halfway up, going for that kind of classic rock tone. I'm using a Ribbon 121 mic and a Dynamic 57, so similar to what I would use here. Really cool thing as well is it has built-in EQ, so you can actually get some kind of processing power while you're recording, so you don't have to do it in the post mix. But just to show you, it has built-in reverb here, where if I turn it up for some ambiance, really cool tone. You can obviously mix that in, and you can even change the size and all the controls of the reverb. Can you hear that nice reverb tailing off there. One thing that's always so difficult with recording a real amp, recording a tube amp, is not only being able to get the really expensive microphones to capture the tone as well as you can, but also mic placement, where unfortunately if your mic for some reason is not in the correct place on the speaker, which does make a dramatic tone difference. You can play the take and record your playing as well as you wanted to and have that take, but if the mic is, you know, off the cab or, you know, off the access, you won't really have the tone you were going for, and it will be pretty difficult to fix that in the mix. So it's so nice to be able to kind of control that afterwards. You can even use the load box to record a dry amp sound, like a direct amp sound, so that you can add the cab afterwards in mixing. And it's just so nice to not have to worry about that too much. Again, it would be perfect if we all had ISO booths where the cab is set up in a different room with you know, $2,000 microphones, and it just stays there in a soundproof ISO booth. That would be nice, but most of us don't have that option. So it's really, really nice to basically have that option with the 2Notes Captor X. It's, in my opinion, if you're using real amps, if you're recording at all with tube amps, it's essential. You need one of these. This is definitely the way to go. One super cool thing on this is you can actually have 6 different presets saved right here, so that you don't even need the remote or the phone or anything like that, but you can have 6 different cabs with, you know, 6 different mics and placements and even reverb, EQ, all of that saved into 6 of your favorite presets, so that when you're either recording or practicing, you can just go between that. It's also a great way to just use headphones with your amp while getting a nice cab sound. For recording or even live performances, you can use the Captor X to run a direct feed to a PA while also using your cab. So for recording, it would be the best of both worlds if I have the cab loud and I have it mic'd, but I'm also running a direct sound using the Captor X to my DAW, and then you can mix the two or just have more flexibility. Again, so you don't get stuck with that perfect take where you nailed the part, but the tone, you can't use it. It didn't really capture it. That's the worst. You want to try to avoid that. So thanks again to 2Notes for sending over the Captor X. I absolutely think it's essential if you're using real amps, especially for practicing at home or recording. And let me know what you guys think of the Victory Head, because I've been super impressed with this amp. I love the tone of it. So let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks guys. I'll see you in the next video.